President Bongbong Marcos's visit to Indonesia has renewed efforts from the parents of long-detained OFW Mary Jane Veloso to negotiate their daughter's release. But who exactly is Mary Jane Veloso? Here's what we know. Veloso is a Filipino maid who is currently detained in Indonesia and is facing death penalty. She was arrested in 2010 at the Yogyakarta airport for bringing in more than 2 kilograms of heroin. Veloso denied knowledge of the drugs, insisting that the luggage was given to her by her recruiters. She was supposed to be executed by firing squad in 2015, but was spared after Philippine authorities informed their Indonesian counterparts that her recruiters were already under police custody. Reports said that the late former President Benigno Aquino, quote, broke protocol for her case. President Rodrigo Duterte, meanwhile, said that he will respect Indonesia's decision on Veloso. And with President Marcos currently visiting Indonesia, Veloso's family is hoping that negotiations for their daughter could be discussed.
It's always an issue. Perhaps it will be broached by both parties, by one or both parties. We'll have to see. I understand since it's a pending issue, it may be inescapable, but we will announce if it is taken up.
Here to discuss their expectations of President Bongbong Marcos's visit to Indonesia, we have with us via Zoom Attorney Edre Olalia, lawyer of Mary Jane Veloso. Good evening and welcome to The Big Story.
Hi, good evening, Sir Chito and Gretchen, if I may call you so.
Okay, have you received any updates on whether President Marcos has discussed or will discuss the case of your client, Mary Jane Veloso, with the Indonesian counterpart?
Unless I miss it, we have the same information. There is no word whether to confirm or that it was discussed publicly, at least, by the two heads of state.
As of 2020, Attorney, the illegal recruiters of Mary Jane Veloso have been charged of large-scale illegal recruitment. And Mary Jane's deposition, what is the state of that now against her illegal recruiters? Because that is vital, I believe, to getting her a reprieve or pardon. What is the current status of the case?
Yeah, that's correct. But there's an earlier ticket for victimizing 3 other Filipino fellows, no? But this pending case involves directly the illegal recruitment, the human trafficking, as well as estafa charges against the same recruiters. The present status is that the court has already made a decision to proceed with the taking of the deposition of Mary Jane in Indonesia. In fact, the Supreme Court already gave a go signal that the political branches of both governments can discuss the mode and the manner and the other arrangements of the taking of the deposition of Mary Jane in Indonesia.
Okay, what assurance do you have, or how confident are you that once all of these legal processes are adhered to, that Mary Jane can actually come home alive?
There's no guarantee because the decision, the ultimate decision, rests with the Indonesian government. The importance of the testimony of Mary Jane is to judicially prove her innocence, that she was just a victim of human trafficking and that the heroin that was found in her luggage was totally unknown to her. However, it may impact on the decision of the Indonesian court, legally at least. This is the legal track, Sito, no? The political track is altogether different, although they're parallel, no? And they're not inconsistent with each other. It may impact on the decision of the Indonesian government on what to do after the taking of the deposition, whether to grant her clemency in any form or to review the case because of this new so-called testimony of Mary Jane here in the Philippines.
Attorney, has the deposition already been taken, given the Supreme Court's decision to uphold and to allow her to do that in Indonesia? And what are the next steps?
Hindi pa. Bali, our Department of Foreign Affairs and the Department of Justice are into discussions with their counterparts in Indonesia. At least this is the legal track, as to the venue of the deposition, who's going to take the deposition, what questions are going to be asked. As a matter of fact, we already submitted our suggested questions to Mary Jane, which would be asked by the Indonesian authorities to Mary Jane herself. So we're still waiting for the exact date of the taking of the deposition, Gretchen.
Okay, last question, Attorney. What exactly, if any, has been shared by you, with you by the DFA or the Department of Migrant Workers in terms of efforts that they plan or strategy that they are going to implement, given that the President, Bongbong Marcos, is in Indonesia right now? Or is this case totally off the table?
Well, we are in direct link with our counterparts with the Justice Department because they are the public prosecutors in the pending case here in the Philippines. We are the private prosecutors. So we only get information from our counterpart from the Justice Department. However, we know for a fact that the Department of Foreign Affairs, together with the DOJ officials, are into discussions into the taking of the deposition of Mary Jane in Indonesia. We are hopeful, though, that this distinct opportunity, I don't know whether it's going to be taken up publicly or discreetly by Mr. Marcos or Mr. Widodo, but this is a huge elephant in the room that cannot be ignored. So that, sooner or later, whether we like it or not, I think it's going to crop up within the discussions with the two heads of state.
Just as a follow-up to that, do you think the tone will change with this new administration compared to Duterte's admin that said that they will respect the Indonesian governments?
Well, it's really, to be very candid, it's too early to tell. But if we measure it from the public statement of Mr. Marcos Jr. in his, I think, SONA, where he was concerned about human trafficking, then to be aligned with such concern, then perhaps he should walk the talk by making sure that Filipina distressed overseas workers like Mary Jane and many others are being taken care of by their own government. So we have to wait. No? We'll see whether he will walk the talk. But however, we can already anticipate, because I think he called our migrant workers, he praised them, our migrant workers in Indonesia. So I think it is incumbent on Mr. Marcos Jr. to do everything within his power, because this is a high-level meeting between two heads of state, something that the protracted legal proceedings here in the Philippines cannot match. No? They are two parallel tracks. However, the political track can supersede the legal track here.
All right, thank you very much. Attorney Edre Olalia, lawyer of Mary Jane Veloso.